Hello, we're back in sunny St Austell to catch up with our good friend Will Burt from White River Cinema to see what's going on, what films are coming your way, and just get the goss really. So we're back here at White River Cinema in St Austell with our favourite Will. Hello.
Hello.
How's spring, kind of almost summertime, treating you now? Because it's
a
been
funny
busy.
time. Yeah. Is it spring? Is it summer? I would say it's summer. My months, I go June, July, August for summer, September, October, November for autumn, December, January, February for winter, and then spring the rest. But they all obviously overlap. But if I had to distinguish three for each, that's the way I go. So yeah, we're
Is that
in the
going
summer.
by the calendars or the film release schedules? The summer
that's
blockbusters.
Just me. Summer for films, it's a bit of an odd one because there's loads of films now and they're stockpiling them into June and a couple into July, but you don't get many big releases coming out in August because they'll roll over from June, July into August. It always used to be the case because of the whole releasing of DVDs for Christmas, that if it was released in August, it was too late for the cut-off point to then be out there. So that's why your big films tend to stop being released in July, and there's not always huge ones in August, even as big films around, because they roll over into that month.
And I guess they had to try and align the DVD releases with like Christmas time, so people wanting things on for Christmas.
Yes, it has to be out in time. But I don't know, there's different windows now, because that's always a bit of a bone of contention that they're getting closer and closer from being released in cinemas to coming out on DVD and everything, and all the streaming stuff. So, yeah.
Well, it's like I say, we're filming here in June time now. So what's heading our way in the cinema? We've had quite a successful few months recently, haven't we?
Yes, yeah. So Top Gun's still playing, and that was huge. So half term we were a bit concerned because there was no kids films being released, and Top Gun was the only big film. And I thought, oh, it should do well, and it's done really well. I know worldwide it sort of exceeded expectations, I think. Well, I don't know, Tom Cruise might have expected it, I don't know, but it's done much better than I think a lot of people were expecting. I think we all thought it was going to do well, but it's done particularly well, and it's been very well received. So it's one of those that's had a good word of mouth, people seen it, loved it, told their friends, so they, I'll give it a go. So, and
I think for someone like me who still hasn't had a chance to see it yet, people may be a little bit not too fussed to come and see it.
Let's watch it.
You're saying it's quite nostalgic. If you've seen the original, it's a lot of kind of throwbacks and tiebacks.
Definitely, yeah. Very faithful to the original. So the opening sequences, the music, the titles, and everything. It's all very similar to the first one, and it's very well developed plot, and people are just loving it. And it's a big screen one to watch. Some things you can sort of, I'll watch on TV. This one you should see on the cinema because the fight sequences, the sound it's loud.
It's loud.
Yes,
And of course,
pins your ears back.
Somebody said to me recently that they are quite keen to see Miles Teller in it because he's bringing a bit of a fresh kind of feel to it with his moustache as well. Very Top Gun.
But it's because I'm not a big Miles Teller fan, and I've said it before in the papers and stuff, and a lot of some of his films. I was like, So when they cast him, I was like, oh no, I wasn't too pleased. But he won me over. He was really good in it. The character he plays, I don't know as much of a spoiler to, can we reveal who he is? I suppose.
It's up to you.
It's been out for a couple of weeks, so if you don't want to know, close your ears now. So he is Goose's son, Rooster.
Okay. So trying to really bring the past back into the future. Oh, okay, interesting.
Plays the piano and stuff like that, and the matchup between him and these sort of throwbacks on the old pictures and the footage. And they've done a really good matchup. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks, you could say, oh yeah, that does look like
that's him.
Yeah. But it looks good. There's also for on the beach, in the first one there was a volleyball. They sort of recreate that with American football. So tops off, sunset,
classic.
Yeah. Henry.
We'll come in and see that one for you. You enjoy that.
I'm sure Henry's here first day. I'm not sure.
Oh, was it? Oh, right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Actually, no, I think he was in, but I think he might have watched Doctor Strange on that day.
Yes. Let's move on. So yes, there's still a few weeks to catch Top Gun, which is great. What else is kind of coming up or doing quite well?
Jurassic World is just released.
Jurassic World. I'm so excited for this
Dominion,
one.
I suppose is its full title.
We've been waiting for quite a while for this one, and again, I don't think it's really a spoiler because they've given it all away in the trailers. A whole synergy of the original cast or some of the original cast from the very first Jurassic Park in 93, 94?
93?
Yeah, something like that. Right up to the current cast. From the the last few films we've seen and enjoyed. So I quite like the idea of this kind of synergy.
Yes, it's nice to blend them all together because we've all got our favourite ones from the series, definitely, and to see them all together, and everyone's happy, aren't they? So,
it's this real. It's a bit different, isn't it? Because I think a lot of the last kind of Jurassic Parks, the theme has been, well, most of them actually, we go back to the island, something
Different
happens,
islands, yes.
and then where this one, it's the theme is actually what happens if we live in a world where dinosaurs have taken over the world, like in our habitat.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory because I know from what we've seen so far that they attack a drive-in cinema as well, so that was quite fun, and sort of living side by side. And how would that work? Because obviously humans are the dominant predators, but only because of technology. Would the dinosaurs be better? Obviously they're better trained at being predators, but then will we develop enough to sort of wipe them
back in their box?
Yes, yeah. It's an interesting one, sort of, how it would, and would they just coexist? Would we be able to survive together? It's, interesting.
Cool. Well, we have to come and see and find out. See what you think. I will definitely be in.
Again, it's another big screen film because I always remember the first Jurassic Park watching it in the film centre, and when T-Rex comes under the water's there, you hear the boom.
Yes, that's right. Iconic, isn't it? Yeah.
Always remember that. Like one of the big cinema moments of my life is just sort of, dum.
Yeah.
Yes. You always
feeling it in your
those.
chest almost, kind of with the sound system. Yeah. So cool.
And obviously you're a bit younger and sort of mesmerised, and that was like one of the first big films for using those sort of effects, really. That was so impressive. And seeing it on the big screen is memorable.
Well, hopefully this one lives up to expectation, and this is supposed to be the third and final one in this kind of incarnation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think it was going to be a trilogy, and I don't think they will be able to continue. But I say that, and probably a few years' time they'll decide to go back again.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe reinvent once more. So see how they end up with this one.
We're sat in the lovely foyer here at White River and surrounded by some kind of upcoming films. So Minions, let's talk about Minions.
Yeah.
The Minions are always a family favourite, I think, with the Minion films.
Yeah. Rise of Gru, this one. So we've got a young Gru who does remind me of a projectionist that works over Newquay that we all know when he was younger.
Okay, enough said.
He knows when I tell him. So we're looking forward to the Minions. They've all been popular, the Despicable Me's, and then they're sort of focused more on the little yellow characters in these ones. The last one was robbing the crown jewels back in the 60s. So I think this takes us into the 70s, judging purely by the psychedelicness of the posters we have around, because your eyes just go funny looking at that one after all. We had the poster of it, and the yellow and the blue, and it's very hypnotic. But we've got an orange and red one over there now, and another one going up the stairs, so yeah, it's a lot of colouring. So.
They always pull in a good crowd. I know I was talking to one of our colleagues the other day, and their daughter during lockdown we were talking about learning different languages, new languages, and she spent lockdown learning Minion, which is actually a proper language that you can learn. So fancy that.
Yeah, it might come in handy if they do another Minions film, then she could apply for one of the voice cameras.
Well, there you go. Yes. And of course, Minions, very loose tie to Minions in Cornwall. You see that quite often, don't you?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times, and they have got them on the sign, haven't they, as you go in?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a really nice walk up around there, so around to the tour just nearby. So got the
genius
Hurler Stones, I think that's near there. But yeah, it's a lovely walk up that area. But obviously they'll probably be inundated again when the Minions films come out. But they embrace it, so it's nice. But it's just quite small, so I don't think they want too many visitors.
Yeah, huge crowds. Yeah. So that's coming our way, and then obviously Lightyear. This is the new kind of Disney film.
That's out on the 17th, so not long. And it's a shame it didn't come out a couple of weeks ago for half term. As I said, there was no kids' films. We had to run through from what we had from Easter, which was Sonic and Bad Guys, right through till now, because most films are getting released and they're doing well. Top Gun's done well, Jurassic World do well, judging by pre-bookings. But the distributors are still moving the kids' films around. We don't know, because that's the audience that are coming out in their numbers. We had the DC Super Pets are supposed to be out.
Sure.
Moved that one back to another date, and there was nothing for half term.
Curious.
It's infuriating because people are coming out in the numbers and they just keep shifting it. There's no good reason. The film's there, it's ready to watch.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
When the kids are on holiday so they can watch it, rather than like mid-June when people aren't on holiday and they have to like cram it in on the weekend. So it's very, very odd, very strange decisions. But the film itself, so we know Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. So this goes back to his time on like the TV film when he's a space ranger. So he's not necessarily a toy in this. This is more Buzz Lightyear
like
as himself.
A bit of an origin story
Yes,
kind of thing.
yeah, of the character rather than the toy. So Chris Evans has taken over the voice of Buzz Lightyear from. Because it was Tim Allen that done it for a while.
Yeah.
So it's different in that style. And
younger, I suppose, to try and get away with it.
Yes, yeah. So he travels off and they get deserted like 4 million light years away from Earth, and they have to travel back and fight through Zerg and all the other bits. But
I've got to say, I quite like the idea of the kind of backstories of some of these like iconic cartoon characters that we've grown up with.
Yeah.
I know some like spin-offs or kind of sequels of some of the films tend to dip into that. But
yeah, Shrek done it, didn't they, with Puss in Boots?
I think Disney are really looking, aren't they, at how they can, I mean, puff it out a bit more. But I like the idea of this one.
Going to do it with Woody, because you had in the second one, the Woody's Roundup, when they played the old ones on TV, black and white western things like that. So
yeah,
I reckon that would be quite nice. Sort of nostalgic for the older ones. Really enjoy that.
So yeah, Lightyear, that's coming in June. That's a few weeks time, which is
exciting. One a week now. It's relentless films coming out. Elvis sneaking out the week after that as well.
Yeah, so Elvis, this is one that when I saw it was taking place, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if that's going to be for me. But I think from looking at the trailers and the cast, certainly, it looks like they've done quite a good job to make it appeal to most audiences.
Yeah, well, Baz Luhrmann's directing, he's done Great Gatsby, Moulin Rouge. So it's definitely very, very stylish, very slick. They've gone with a really very polished approach. I believe Priscilla has watched it herself as well and has given her seal of approval.
Okay,
yeah, I did read that somewhere on the paper. So, yeah.
It must be quite difficult to retell some of those stories from what happened in his life, because it was quite a long time ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, so this will be back in, so his main focus will be 60s, early 70s, wasn't it? So telling his life story.
And of course, everybody knows at least one song of Elvis's, don't they? It's iconic
you should know,
catalogue,
you should be able to name half a dozen, I would have thought. So,
yeah,
definitely. So, and it is all great music, so from a musical perspective, so we had quite a few musical films. There hasn't been many for a little while.
It's reined in a bit again, hasn't it?
Yeah, we had a couple of Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man, and then there's been a bit of a ease off. So hopefully this will get a few more musical coming in.
Yeah.
Musicals do well, and people love musical films.
Yeah, we love a musical.
Yeah. I suppose they just keep looking, who can we do a story about now? There's so many they could do. I don't know.
It's doing it right,
would they do ABBA? But I don't know if they would, because obviously Mamma Mia sort of cover their music, so probably not the same. But there would be different songs they could do.
And of course they're going through their resurgence again, aren't they, with their kind of stage shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of Avatar.
Oh yeah, that was an indirect association.
Talk to me about Avatar, because recently we've seen a trailer come out for Avatar 2, which we've waited 10 years for, which seems mind-blowing.
A long time.
Thoughts?
It's been threatened for a long time, so there's always a sequel on the cards, and for a number of years they nailed back the Christmas slot, and then Star Wars came out and that took the Christmas slot, and it got pushed back. And it's one of those things, I think it's going to be a murmur if that it's ever going to come out. But he has actually delivered a trailer, so the film has been shot and it will be out. It'd be interesting to see how they go with it. I think visually it will look very good. It's a 3D based film, because the first one was 3D. We haven't done much 3D for a while, but we did do Doctor Strange in 3D as a bit of a trial run for Avatar, and that's when the trailer got dropped, so we could see the quality of the visuals again with that. To be honest, I was not a huge fan of the first one.
Okay.
I can understand why people like it. I appreciate the visuals. I think the concept's good. I like the planets and the way it looks. But plot-wise, it was thin, very thin.
Sure. I think they've
so hoping this will take it on a bit more and they'll actually be able to develop some of the characters.
Okay, yeah. I think they've missed the boat for me.
It's been so long as well.
I think if they'd managed to get it out in a few years afterwards or whatever, then that would have kept the momentum going. Because I think we're watching Avatar in the cinema for the first time. It was something I felt quite different. It was big and glossy, and there was all these names in it, and it was a bit of a different concept. But 10 years, that was 10 years ago now. Like, I think films come on quite a lot as well. I'm not sure they're going to be able to bring, because it's almost not long enough to be nostalgic, is it? Do you know what I mean?
I know, I was thinking that because Top Gun's obviously had a longer wait for its sequel, but you've got that sort of real
80s,
long wait
90s nostalgia.
Yes. So it's a real awkward time in between. It's sort of, not quite nostalgia, long time to sort of lose that audience's interest, but it has got a big fan base. because again, language learning, a lot of people did
True.
learn the language of Avatar, so there's some
Yeah.
real big fans of it, and the sci-fi ones. But it was funny because it was very sci-fi based, but it did get a wide range. So you do get some films that will break the generational barriers. Like Top Gun's appealing to a wide audience. Jurassic World, all of those is a multi-generational film. You will see like 4 generations of one family coming in to watch that. And you don't get that for many films. But Avatar was another one. It was sort of quite a big, because it was a big event.
Sure.
People were sort of hearing about it. Oh, let's go and see it. Let's see what the visuals are like in the 3D. So we're hoping, because the 3D hasn't been done for a while as well.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't done one. There's been a few around, but not a big 3D production. That'll be another big element to draw them in, sort of reinvent the 3D and get that back up again.
Yeah, because that was a huge thing, and it did kind of whittle away a bit, didn't it?
Yes, yeah. The trouble is there was quite a few trying to jump on the 3D bandwagon. I think we discussed it before, that you've got films that you shoot in 3D which look very good, and they were converted in a lot of films. I know the second Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, was held back to convert it, or was it Part 1? They converted one of those into 3D, and it wasn't great, and they delayed it, and just trying to add a few 3D elements, and you could take your glasses off and there's like nothing on it.
Yeah.
There was the Clash of the Titans with, again, Sam Worthington, and that was due for release, got held to do a rehash of a 3D on it, and that, I know lots of people were very disappointed in that, because there's hardly any 3D elements within the film.
Shame.
Yeah, but Doctor Strange recently, there was some really good 3D moments in that. So there's one fight scene, they're fighting each other with these musical notes. And that was really very impressive.
Cool.
Yeah. So if it's shot in 3D, it's excellent.
Yeah.
There was too many trying to
make it
convert
work behind
it.
the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's film, and we'll find out about Avatar. We'll see what happens.
Christmas. Yeah.
Any live performances or productions coming up? I know the event cinema is always quite a popular one
Yeah.
here.
Trying to think when this is going to go out and what we can talk about.
Putting on the spot now. Anything coming up with the kind of height of summer or
Jodie
autumn?
Comer, Prima Facie or Prima Facie, so it's like a stage production. That one's coming out, and the summer big event is Andre Rieu returning with his summer concert from Maastricht. So they've done a couple of things in the last couple of years, but I think it's been like highlighted, edited sort of shows. But this is actually back live, back in the Netherlands from his hometown. So,
Nice.
Yeah, he's always very popular. People do enjoy his shows, but it does tend to be a quiet spell in the summer for the event cinema. Really, it will kick off again more September time, and Royal Opera House have announced their performances for next year. That's the ballets and the operas, and it's like the biggest ever. It's a huge list.
Wow.
We've got the programmes now, but I think it's like 14 different
Oh,
productions.
brilliant.
So yeah, some different ones on there as well. So
Back in full swing.
yeah, because we did do Swan Lake recently. That was very popular. Yeah, done really well. So
Classic.
Yeah, there's certainly a call in the market for the ballets and the operas. So
Well, as always, you can get the latest information on the WTW's website, which is
wtwcinemas.co.uk.
Okay, so you knew really. And you can follow on social as well, can't you? You guys are quite active on Twitter.
Yeah, Facebook as well.
And Facebook as well, yeah.
Competitions on there as
And
well.
Instagrams everywhere, just search WTW Cinemas.
Yeah, we do have Instagram. I'm not particularly au fait with Instagrams, but I'll catch up one day with it. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
it. It's like with Instagram, before we came, so we try and do it. So Instagram and Facebook are linked, and you put stuff on Facebook and try and put it on Instagram. It's files too big, files too small. Won't do this, won't do that.
Yeah.
Pain.
Don't get me started on the Meta Business Suite, because it'll be the death of us all.
I don't understand this metaverse stuff, so you can explain it to me off air.
Don't ask me. Ask Rachel. She'll
How
tell
long have
you.
we got?
Well, thank you so much for letting us come in.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you up real soon. I know we're hoping to get back out on the road again and visit some
definitely.
locations.
Yeah,
In
the
the
weather's not been
sunshine.
great, is it? So yeah. But I think sun today. I don't know how long will it last.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will.
Cheers. Bye bye.